Okay, I guess we're gonna get started. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Just nod. Okay. um, okay, so I wanted to talk about social media, mostly social media tonight, and I wanted to kind of talk about why I'm kind of irritated. So, um, most of you know I joined in, when did I join? The very last day of May in 2014. And I have since built my business. I would say 97% of it probably through Instagram. And, some of it has flooded over into Facebook from Instagram. But kind of I built it from nothing. Um, Trial and error using Instagram, figuring it out as I went along. It wasn't like this huge social media training. There wasn't John Eric. There were barely any leaders out there doing social media training. It was just starting to become something. So, I watched a couple of the videos out there. Missy and Kenny, our uplines, had a couple. They did like one or two calls right when I kind of when I started about how they worked Instagram, and so it just kind of went from there. It was like totally driving blind. So that being said, I would say in the last year, maybe a little less, but mostly like the last year, there has been a huge flood of training from other leaders, sharing scripts, sharing whatever. And in my opinion, I feel like Instagram has really suffered from a lot of bad advice. This business, as we know, is already one of the easiest things to have people skeptical over. We're a multi-level marketing company. People are always thinking we're a pyramid scam or we're out to just be selfish and scam you with our products that don't work. So there's already that fear that everybody has behind what we're doing. So in the time that I've worked on Instagram, I have kind of built my business based off of not being selly, not being scammy, not being salesy, not going after people, not attacking them for a sale, not confronting them to try to get a sale, not confronting them about the business. I have been very passive, which means I have never cold messaged somebody. I have never warm messaged somebody. I have never messaged somebody that liked a picture of mine. I have never started up a conversation with somebody in a direct message to build a relationship and then try to go after a kill for a product sales or whatever. I have just done what I've done, post what I post. I keep it as non-green as possible, if that makes sense. I don't post a lot of generic pictures of the bottles, pictures that are, advertised with just writing on them with product information. I keep it very personal and very emotional. So I feel like the plan of attack has always been don't attack. And I feel like there have been a lot of leaders that have pushed their way of, cold messaging and going after the sale. And what has happened is that there are some people that were really good at that, and most people were kind of just following advice blindly. So now there are a lot of people on Instagram that are irritated with us, that are annoyed. They don't even want to hear about this company. They think that we're just out instantly to scam people. So I cannot tell you how to run your business. I can give you my advice and I can tell you what has worked. I can tell you that there are top leaders that went out and told people, yes, go do this, go do that, go cold message, go do what you need to do. And they're kind of like backpedaling now, like, oops, maybe we shouldn't have said that, because it is a tricky thing to do, cold messaging and anything like that. So this is what I recommend. I feel like we need to back off of that. I feel like a lot of people out of desperation are going and messaging and, they're hearing people say, message 100 people a day. I don't know where that comes from. I feel like it's a terrible idea. I feel like we're not looking for quality when we're doing that. I feel like we're giving away our integrity almost. And I know there's somebody that's going to disagree with this, but my business even has suffered because of all this bad messaging. So please, please, I think we need to go back to being thoughtful, being different, being the team that's different, being just being people instead of looking for numbers all the time. So I did make some notes. Does anybody have anything they want to say at this point? I know it's kind of like, it's hard because I've never taught that way of running my business, or running, having you guys run your business by messaging every single person that likes a photo. I've never taught that. It is totally up to you if you want to do that. But I feel like in the last year, there's been a lot of it. Even on our team, it's flooded into the team. Like, new people come on and they're just like, okay, so 3 people liked my photo. Now what do I do? Well, you do nothing. In my opinion, you do nothing. You let them keep liking. You let them, follow your journey. You don't just message them and say, hey, you like this? Are you in? I mean, I feel like it's weird. I totally feel like it's weird to just go after somebody like that. We like somebody's picture of their new shoes they bought. Do they message us and say, hey, do you want information on these shoes? No. It's weird to me. So I think with all this training, it's kind of been made like it's a normal thing or it's what you do with your business. But I think that we need to teach our teammates that it's not the only way, and that it's not mandatory. It's not what you do. You have options in what you do, and you don't have to do cold messaging. You don't have to be messaging because people liked your photos. So I feel like it's going to take a lot more people standing up and saying, hey, maybe we should go back to the way we kind of started this in the beginning and pull back away from this behavior before it becomes, something we can't really stop. Because I feel like all these different changes with Instagram and with this and with that have in part to do with all of this crazy behavior from, and I'm not calling you guys out, of course, but there are a lot of distributors out there doing just whatever they think that will work in order to build their business. And I can tell you, I think that there are people out there that are messaging hundreds of people and still not getting results that way. So I definitely think that it comes down to you as an individual and how you're representing your business. If people are going to want to order from you, it's not about messaging them 100 times. So that being said, let me see. Anybody have anything they want to add to that, or concerns, or you think I'm crazy, whatever?
I guess I kind of have a question, a concern. I don't know. Ever since I started messaging people.
Hold on, I don't know who's talking. I can't hear.
Oh, it's Kemi.
Yeah, Kemi, we can't hear you very well.
Can you hear me now?
Hardly.
Yeah.
Really?
Turn your volume up. Your speaker needs to be turned up.
Uh-oh, now she's frozen.
How about now? Oh, never mind. I'll just talk in the group chat.
Okay, so my other opinion on that is, messaging somebody, and I've talked about this before, but I feel like, people are like, oh, well, start a conversation, message somebody in a private message first. Well, that's kind of weird to me too, because if you don't want to say it publicly on my photo, why are you messaging me in a message about my kid or my dog? Like that instantly to me says red flag. Why does this person want to talk privately instantly? If they want to just say, hey, I like that, or hey, we have this in common, why aren't they saying it on my picture? So since there's a lot of that going on, most people instantly, when they see a private message come up, they're instantly like feeling there's something fishy about it. I feel like commenting is basically the same thing. You comment on people's pictures and that sends up a flag to them. Hey, this person's talking to me. Let me go look at their profile. But it's not. So apparently, what is the word? It's obvious that you're looking for something more. Just like when a weird guy on Instagram messages you privately, you're like, I don't know about this. So I say stick to commenting instead of going out of your comfort zone. That's the other thing. Like, don't do anything in this business. Yes, we want to go out of our comfort zone, when it comes to blitzing, when it comes to this. But if it feels wrong or weird or fishy, or like any of those things, don't do it just because somebody else says to do it. That does not help your business, and it throws you further off track, I believe. That being said, what else do we need to talk about?
I feel like having more private conversations with people, you should be trying to get them to your Facebook.
Yeah.
Instead of Instagram, because then they can kind of get a feel of you once they see your Facebook, and you seem kind of more like a real person.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, I agree. I think that people on Facebook, it's not as weird. Like it's more of a conversation platform. Facebook is, where Instagram, it's more picture based. So
people like to have likes and comments on their photos on Instagram. Nobody sees their private messages, like it doesn't do them any good to have a weird message from somebody.
True. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about? The other thing we need to get back to doing, I think, too, is, and I don't know about Instagram, they said all these changes were going to be happening. I haven't seen a lot of what they said were, the changes that were supposed to be happening happen yet. But I think we need to get back to searching out unique hashtags that are unique to us, because one, we can totally know that the common hashtags are probably so saturated. You probably go in there to hashtag mom life and find every single person in there is being followed by 60 distributors. And that's kind of it's something we talk about a lot, but I think we need to get more unique with our Instagrams, more personal, and search out hashtags that have not been touched, because I guarantee you, I was telling John this, I'm like, oh my God, Instagram seems so saturated, blah, blah. And like, there are so many people out there that have not heard of this. I spoke to somebody 2 days ago, a new follower, and she was like, what are these wraps? And it made me feel like I was back in 2014 or, 2015, even, when nobody knew about the wraps on Instagram. But the common thing, or the thing I noticed, was that she had very few followers. So she probably wasn't like big into Instagram. So that's another thing. You want to be focusing on followers that have, I would say, less than 300 to 500 followers, because those are the people that probably aren't all over Instagram and seeing these things. There are so many people out there that have not even heard of our products. I know we see it every single day, and we're in the business. We feel like, of course, everybody knows about this because we sleep, eat, and breathe this business, but nobody, other people aren't like that. They don't know about this. There are people every day that don't know about this. The guy that came and sprayed our yard the other day for mosquitoes, he, right at the end of the conversation, he was like, okay, I'm done. And then he was like, so, how are you doing with those reps? And I was like, what the heck is he talking about? Like, I'm like, why is this guy asking about reps? But he parked behind my van. He saw that crazy rep thing and he asked me about it. Some, 40-year-old man asked me about reps. So people are still curious. They don't know about this stuff. There are so many people out there that we have not tapped into. We just have to go about it the right way. We need to work our social media, but also not get lazy about just being on social media. You can work your business 95% on Instagram and Facebook or Snapchat, whatever you want to do. But I feel like it's selfish for us to limit ourselves to just that. And I'm guilty of that too. I need to go back to blitzing when I do go out. I need to make sure that card is in my purse. Like, I didn't even have a blitz card to give this guy. I'm like, what am I doing? I missed out on an opportunity, and he was genuinely interested. I told him. He assumed, he's like, so you get to stay home with your kids? I'm like, yeah. And I told him I brought my husband home, and he saw him here. So he knew. He just was stunned. And I know we don't all have that story in the beginning to share. You don't need that story. You just need to be excited, and you need to have the product on hand. So while you're building Instagram, while you're building Facebook, I watched a video earlier. I think it was Sarah Rankin. And she said that she didn't get a customer off of Facebook for 6 months into the business. So we all know that Facebook and Instagram take time to build. They take time to, figure out for ourselves and brand our own business, make it personal, get people trusting us because they think that we're full of it at first. So it's not an overnight thing, and we can't just focus on that. We need to have our launch parties. We need to have our new distributors have a launch party. We can't just be like, oh, you don't need to do that. It's not necessary. We need to tell them their options, and we need to make sure that everybody can kind of test the waters in all aspects of the business. So maybe social media is not for every person. We can't limit ourselves to just one way. So that's what I challenge you guys to do, is to go out and start getting uncomfortable blitzing. Start doing it today instead of tomorrow. You're just wasting precious days where you could be building your team, making new relationships with people. The other thing that Sarah Rankin had said was that in 5.5 years, now this is kind of off the social media topic, but it's still etiquette. She said that in 5.5 years, she had never had somebody call her because she left a blitz card somewhere, which she called stealth blitzing, which is just when you leave your blitz cards on a table or, wherever it is that you left them at the gas pump. She's never had somebody just call her randomly like that. So that's, again, kind of a shortcut. And we need to stop taking these shortcuts in our business and expecting huge results, because it's not going to happen. Every shortcut that I've made in this business, or sloppy day that I had, where I fell off the wagon and I didn't do what my own advice or top leaders' advice, it's never resulted in anything good. So stealth blitzing is just kind of a waste of your time. You need to be in contact with people. They need to see your face. They need to see your excitement. They need to talk to you. So don't waste your time doing things like that are not going to produce results, because it's only going to discourage you. Same thing with posting on social media. It's not going to help if you're posting 3 times a day. You feel like you're putting in the effort, but those efforts they're just barely getting your feet in the water. People are not going to see that consistency and think, wow, she's really got a business going. She's motivated. It's the same thing with blitzing. So we cannot just play it safe and take those shortcuts. Sorry, I'm just reading my notes to see if I missed anything. They're all like crazy.
Copy and pasting other people's posts is another shortcut. It's really terrible.
Yeah, and I have that written down here.
Right, I'm gonna talk.
Especially like, I mean, copy and pasting posts, and then also I feel like copy and pasting scripts. So, you know, like earlier today, I gave you guys a script that you could send out for following up with people after the wrap party. That's one thing. It doesn't mean, you know, do it exactly. You can change it up a little bit. It's an idea of what direction to go to post or to send to people. But even like with messaging on Facebook or on Instagram, sorry, they're the most common script out there, and I'm sure there are lots of people that have tried it, is the one that I believe Jade kind of coined, and everybody uses it, and everybody's probably received it, is, "Hey girl, thanks for the love on my post. Are you interested in ... Well, it worked for a while, but I feel like it's not genuine anymore. It's been copied and pasted and posted and sent out so many times that we're going to be known as the "Hey girl" distributors. So just, you know, make things your own. What works for somebody doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. And if everybody's doing the same thing, then, you know, why join you, or why join me, or why join whoever if there's nothing different about that person? We're all doing the same thing. We seem like carbon copies. The same thing about, like Jen said, with copying and pasting scripts. Facebook is kind of marking them as like a spam post. So people aren't even going to see those if they're going around. If the same thing is going around all day long, it just gets marked as spam. And you don't want people to think that that's all we do is just copy and paste. Because this business, as you guys know, is so much more involved. It's so much more personal. Like this, nobody knows that we're doing these Zooms. Nobody knows that we talk to each other in private messages, and that we share our dreams, and we cry when we don't get a distributor that signed up to sign up that, you know, was supposed to sign up for 4 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever. I mean, there's so much more in this business than just what they see on the outside. Let's see. That's really about it. I did want to talk about urgency. I think a lot of times we focus on, in this business, like, gosh, if I could just sign that rock star that would just like take my business and fly it off to Ambassador Diamond. But we need to take responsibility for this because we can't guarantee that somebody else is going to do the work for us. And we don't want that. We want to be able to sustain our businesses on our own, because we can't guarantee that somebody's going to work from day to day. So I think the focus is put back into yourself, put back into your self-development, and become your own rock star, because by doing that, I feel like that's what attracts more people to you. So it's kind of a shortcut to just be looking for your next rock star. It happens, but what if it doesn't happen? You need to be able to complete your steps to success, or at least get close to it every single month. And by doing that, you will find people that see the vision that you see. And maybe in doing that, you will find a rock star. But I want you guys to all realize that this business is totally possible for each of you, but you have to go at it like 400%. You know, whether you're working a full-time job, whether you have 3 kids, whether you, whatever your circumstances, it's your responsibility to get this thing going. It's your responsibility to put those goals out there and say, you know what, I'm sick of saying I'm going to be Ruby, you know, in the fall or next summer or whatever. Like, this is up to you. You are the business owner. You have to be your biggest motivator, and you have to put those goals out.
It's like a fucking spider crawling up or.
Can we mute whoever that is? I don't know who that is, but we have background noise coming in. So what was I saying? So distracted. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to be our biggest motivators. We need to be the ones setting our goal. And I'm guilty of this too. Like you maybe you promote and then you're like comfortable with that. But the only way to get to the next level is to say, you know what, I'm not going to settle for that. I'm going to be this rank and I'm going to do it next month. And there are no ifs, ands, or buts. But you cannot just keep going doing the same pace. You can't get comfortable with just getting customers because you're good at that, or just getting distributors because you're good at that. You have to be pushing for your next goal. And Taylor, are you on here, Taylor? I don't know. Taylor Armstrong. She watched a Periscope. I didn't see it, but she watched a Periscope earlier, I guess, and said that let me see if I can pull up what she said, because she's not on here. But she said something that hit home for her, and it hit home for me too. Let's see. I know it'll hit home for you guys. I gotta find what she said. Now, this goes for whether you are trying to maintain a promotion or trying to get to it. But basically it said, if you're constantly pushing for your next promotion, then your only option is to maintain. I'm going to say that again. So and this is any promotion, or if you're going for your first promotion. So if you're constantly pushing for your next promotion, then your only option is to maintain that rank. Because we're all guilty of having a great month and then just letting it slide the next month and thinking, oh, it'll just keep up. But that's not the truth. The truth is we need to always be pushing for more, because we are so capable of it. And that's the only way to keep our teams going, the only way to keep new excited people coming onto our team, and the only way to keep our dreams going. So I'm not even looking at my screen now because I've got Facebook up, so I don't know what the heck I look like. Hot mess. Anybody have any questions about building relationships on Instagram or Facebook, or
something Missy said to me this week when I was talking to her about me wanting to promote it. She said, once you become your own rock star, you'll start attracting other ones. And it's not just sending your teammates messages encouraging them, but be more public about it. So encouraging people where other people can see it. Because then you're somebody that people are attracted to and that somebody wants to talk to and feel comfortable with, So then they kind of look up to you and stuff. Just then you need to be pouring into your team and be making it public, not just having a private message with somebody on your team.
I totally agree with that. And I was talking to somebody earlier today about that same exact thing. And because I noticed that I don't do as much of that as I used to. And I noticed in really busy times, or I remember when I was promoting to Double Diamond, and not just talking about my teammates, but just an overall talking about my team. I think a lot of us are guilty of that too, of not sharing enough of how amazing our team is on our personal page, because people want to see that, that excitement in posts about what your team is doing, even if it's little stuff, even if you've got a team of 3 people and one person got a customer, whatever it is, you need to celebrate that. And like Jen said, that excitement is like a magnet. It draws people in. They want to be a part of that. They want to have friends. They want to have, I remember in the very, very beginning, when I was thinking about joining, and they were always talking about fun, friendship, freedom. I was like, well, I just want the freedom. I don't really care about fun, and I really don't care about friends. And that was kind of sad, but I was just trying to get my family to survive. So I didn't give a crap about friends, making friends. And I wasn't a super social person. I was like, what do I need that for? But now, I mean, I couldn't imagine going one day without talking to somebody on my team, or checking in with my leaders or whatever it is. And those friendships, like, people see that, and that's why we get a lot of, hater stuff or negative stuff or whatever. People want to have the friendships that we have. So I totally agree. I think that whether your team is 20 people or 13 people or 500 people or 2 people, a big part of getting people to join you is talking about how excited you are and what your team is doing. And, feel free to tag your teammates or post on their pages, whatever it is, but make sure that excitement is going, because especially when you get people from your Instagram over to your Facebook, they want to see more. And on Instagram, they can't really see what your team is doing or that you have a team. On Facebook, they get to see a much more broad spectrum of your life and your business, and that you have teammates. They don't know if somebody's on your sideline or your upline or your downline or wherever they are. They just know that you have a team, and they see that excitement. So make sure that you make a point to talk about that, not just the products, not just your paycheck or how it changed your life, but how it's changing your life with other people involved. Because nobody wants to be the first person to join somebody. Nobody wants to be the only person to join somebody. Talk about your team and, all the amazing things that we're doing, because we have a really awesome team. We should be promoting that, using that as a high point. So I think that's a great tip. Is everybody frozen, or is it just me?
No, I'm not frozen.
You're just really still. I'm like, wait a minute, everybody's frozen. And then I realized you're just like not moving. Okay. Anything else, guys? I hope I hit, I did. Oh my God, I hope I hit record. Oops. Have you guys been watching the, what is it called? The John Eric's algorithm stuff? I don't know what it's called.
I've been watching it.
I got part of the way through the one that was on last night, and then my phone died. So I need to go back and watch it to see if there was any interesting stuff to share. So maybe
a pretty brutal day yesterday, so I have yet to watch it.
I think it was a little over an hour long, so I think it's up for 7 days, or it's probably like 6 days now. So if you haven't gone and joined the group or whatever it is, you can do that now. I'll post it on the team page so that you can see the link. It's just talking about Facebook and, why everything works the way it does on Facebook, the algorithm of, why you see what you see and who sees what and all that stuff. So I think Facebook is a really, really important part of our business, much more important than a lot of people realize. Some people are focused entirely on Instagram, but Facebook is kind of like Instagram's cousin, and they need to work hand in hand to work 100%. So I think it's really interesting to learn more about Facebook and figure out, kind of like we do with Instagram, what works, what doesn't work, and how to utilize it the best way. So I will post that link on the page again. I think it was posted yesterday, but I'll try to bump it up or something. All right, anything else, guys? Somebody's got to have something to ask. Look at the baby.
She's smiling at you.
She's like, what's going on? No, nothing. Nobody has questions. I know there's got to be something out there. Anybody have something they need advice on, or feel like they're stuck with something?
Yeah. You know how there's only a few people on this? Well, there's like 10, 15 people, but there's a lot of our team that's not on this. So like a lot of what we talked about, none of them know about. And there's a lot of them that aren't going to watch this recording. And we kind of already know that, right? That's kind of how it goes. Like, we tell them to watch it and tag them in it. But you can tell when people watch the recording and when they don't. So we know that there's going to be a vast majority of our teams that aren't going to watch this and aren't going to know this and are going to continue to do the things we just talked about not doing.
Yes.
How do you figure to approach that?
Well, that goes for it's the same for any part of our business. Like, you guys know, you can't make somebody work their business. You can't make them watch something. You can't make them read something. You can't make them go look up an answer to something on their own if they're not motivated. So, I mean, really, the best thing we can do is just to encourage and inspire and, be active on the team page, talk about things on the team page.
For example, the people that do some of the things that we talked about.
Yeah.
That we know do it. Because I know there's some people that really needed to hear this today that didn't, because they do some of those things.
Let's hope that by posting the recording that they'll secretly watch it and not.
And I feel like if we tag people in it, then they'll know it. They'll feel like it's a direct hit on them because they know that they do those things.
Yeah. True. So maybe that's not a good idea.
I know.
On that note, there was one other thing I wanted to mention really quickly, was something that we had talked about in the leader group a little bit, but Facebook is a great avenue. Like, we're wanting to work it more, utilize it more and all that, but be mindful too. I feel like there's been a lot of talk in the last year about, adding new people to Facebook, but please be mindful of who you're adding to Facebook. Facebook loves to throw up that thing on the side of people you might know that are, related to your friends or connected to your friends or whatever, but do not go down your list of people you might know and just friend them all, because they could be your teammates' family members. They could be your teammates' best friends or potentials that they've spent time with and care. And you don't want to be the person that has all these mutual friends with somebody of obviously you don't know these people. So be careful about who you're adding. I'm really cautious still about adding those, adding people on Facebook like that, because one, they're always like, well, how do I know you or whatever, but check out
spam accounts too on Facebook.
Yeah, and check out their mutual friends. If you're looking at people you might know and it says mutual friend is, your direct teammate or your upline, maybe you should investigate and make sure you don't friend these people, because it's not good etiquette. Just like the same thing as, maybe you're following your teammate on Instagram and you go through and follow all of their followers. That's not cool. Basically, that's the same thing. So be careful about that. I guess that's it, guys. Anybody have questions before we go?
Hold on.
I guess not. Well, my glass is empty. It wasn't very full to begin with, so no crap. I think we're going to plan on another Zoom next week. We don't have to do Thursday. It just happened to be Thursday again, but think about what you guys want to talk about. If you have suggestions, and we'll talk about it, and I'll make some notes. Maybe we'll have some other people talk with me, and I guess that's it. It's thunderstorming here, so I'm going to go anyway, because who knows what's about to happen. Dawn, is it thunderstorming where you are? Yeah. I know. Both Dawns say yes. Aaron, is it thunderstorming?
Yes.
Okay. I had to go inside and take the umbrella, or go outside and take the umbrella inside because it was blowing. So, okay, guys. Well, it is the 16th today, so we've got. When is the 16th? We're a little more than halfway through the month. So let's get this going. I know people seem a little less motivated when those big bonuses out there, but don't be, because these months are so big for your business. You need to just blow everything out of the water and run and take advantage of this time, because all these leads the next 6 months are going to be building up to busy promotion time in the spring. So plant as many seeds as you can, reach out to as many people as you can, reach out to your teammates, and I guess we'll say goodnight for the night. I'm going to stop the recording and I will upload it to YouTube. And then if you want to share it with your team or your group messages or whatever, feel free to do that. And we will talk later, guys, if nobody has a question. I feel like I didn't get to even see who was on here. I see Crystal. Hi, Crystal.
Actually, I have a question. Like, does everybody else get a lot of our teammates friending them on Facebook or on Instagram? Like, I feel like people don't pay attention to who they're friending, and I'm getting so many friend requests from people on our team alone.
You mean on Instagram, like follow?
Yeah, on Instagram. Yeah, they're following.
I think a lot of people, not even intentionally, are just following lists of people, and maybe it's happening unintentionally. I think most of the time it's unintentional. But yeah, I don't know about you guys, but most of the time when I follow somebody, I try to look at their
page
for 2 seconds to see if they're an Herbalife or an It Works person, or if, who is this person I'm following? It only takes a second. So
Right.
I recommend doing that too, because you don't want to be following a bunch of people that are selling similar products or competing for business or your teammates, because then you're just going to have the same pool of people. So be mindful of that too. It just takes 2 seconds to get a good idea of who you're following, or if it's a child or a teenager or whatever. Because I know we've all had people that we thought they were interested in the business only to find out that they're like 12 years old. So that's a good point. All right, guys. Anyone else before I stop the recording? My face is really red. Look at this. I had like literally like this is a little baby wine glass, and it was like this full. It takes nothing. It's embarrassing. All right, guys. Well, we will stop the recording, and we'll see you guys next week. And we'll have another wrap party, not next week, but the following week, I think. So thanks for joining me. Bye, guys.